And we are live. Hello. Okay. All right. So then, from New Zealand, not a person. How are you doing? So I need you to give me a thumbs up or something like that. Anyway, make sure that you can hear me properly. I think I've got my microphone on. I can see myself. Looking very unshaven. So hello, everybody. And to this nice Friday night. So we're just going to give it a few minutes just for some more people to pop on and see what's going on. How are you doing? There we are. All right. Hi there, more credit. And Philip. Ian, hi, how are you doing? Remember, if you're on Facebook watching there, if it says, like, you know, you have to, with the StreamYard software, you have to put your name in something. I don't know exactly what, but then it shows me your name. Okay, but all good. Thumbs up. Yeah, you can all hear. Excellent. Hi D, how are you doing? Hi Jay, Martin and Teresa, Jason, My Life, Emma, Dragons and Daisies. That's a nice name. And not a person, all the way from New Zealand, eh? And Andy, how are you doing? Good. So then, the what I was wanting to do tonight, I don't know how this is going to work out, because I actually want to go over Hey, a Wise Woman some forms on now. I might not be able to actually share. I'm trying to share the screen, but I don't think it's the best way to actually share it on what do you call this one, on StreamYard. So I'm going to try, and if not, I'll just actually have to read it out to you. Okay, so it's been quite an eventful week. Hopefully everybody's been having a good week, and you've all been enjoying yourselves and doing whatever you've been doing. From Romania, Wilhelmina. Hi, how are you doing? Excellent. Great to see everyone on here. So then, keep my voice lubricated. Right now, we're actually having a couple of events coming up, which is going to be next month. So the two events that we've got is going to be on the 3rd. Both of them are on Saturday the 3rd of September, which is in Kings Langley, which is way down south for me. And that's in about 5 minutes, apparently, from the M25, Kings Langley in Hertfordshire. I think it's Hertfordshire. And I was going to try and share the screen to show the link, but I've actually put it in the description anyway, because I can't share the link. I can't share the screen that way. I thought I could. You can do it on Zoom, but you can't do it on StreamYard. So that's on Saturday, right, the 3rd of September in Kings Langley. Okay, so if you go on to the link that I've put in the description, then you can see where to get your tickets if you want to go to that event down there. And then the next event, 2 in September, and that's in Plymouth, even further south, nearly in France. And that there is on the 17th, Saturday, the 17th of September, and that's in Plymouth. And again, I can't share the screen, but I've put a link in the description. So if you want to go to that event, then you can actually click on that link there as well. Hi, Dimebar, how are you doing? Good to see you. And Tim from Derbyshire, lovely. And My Life from Maryland. Maryland, like what? Where's Maryland then? So anyway, I've got a runny nose. Don't know what. I think, like, a lot of times if I go out and there's people like wearing what do you call it, perfume and aftershaves, it really affects me nose and eyes. All right. Oh, so it's, this is very, very fortunate. So my life from, it says Latiana, and she wants me to help her status. Well, funny enough, that what I'm trying to actually share on the screen is some documentation that we have from our website, which is to help you help you change your status, what she's asking for. So the first one that we've got, which I was going to do, is called the lawful notice and demand. On the lawful notice and demand, all right, basically, we are working with the Certainties Act 1666, which states to everyone that we are dead and lost at sea or lost beyond the sea. And you are of that status until you come forward and declare yourself alive. Now, that is still up and running and live on the government website, gov.uk. You can go on and check it. I'm not lying. You can read it. All right. It's there. All right. It's insane. So the whole thing, okay, is basically, this is where, well, the scam really comes from. You know, we're all persons, we're all actually slaves. We've got us treated as slaves from birth on the birth certificate. So you know, when you're actually, instead of being born, you're being birthed. Okay, so they're actually birthing you. So when they're actually having, like, you know, the mother used to have labor pains, now they have contractions. So they're contracting their sons and daughters out into the dead Earth hologram that we actually call it, which some say could be Earth, but I think it's like a prison planet, really. I think that's how it feels, that's for sure. So hiya, Andy, how you doing? Oh, yeah. Dainbow's on as well, Andy. You all right? And Michelle? Okay, 3rd of September is your Earth Day. Well, you can get down to Kings Langley then, Michelle. My life, is that in Baltimore? Maryland in Baltimore, is that right? Oh, lovely. Okay. And obviously the ones with the Facebook, like if you haven't put your name in. All right. Yes. So, like, hiya, Barbara. How you doing? Good to see you on there. Oh God, you won't be, Michelle. You won't be. Don't worry. All right. Hi, Lulu. How are you doing? So anyway, like, as I was saying, that you saw, like, you know, from birth, and they've got us in this dead Earth hologram. So you're in, your mother's having contracting the actual sons and daughters onto this dead Earth hologram. So then you're going into the birthing canal, going into the canal. All right. So after the waters break and you're going in, all right, this kind of rings bells to get us all into this maritime system that we're in. So you're coming on to where you're going in, and people say they got, you know, they want to not be a driver, they want to be, you know, like a traveler. I understand, fully get it. Okay. Hiya, Dylan. How you doing? But remember, when you're on them lanes, that's a sea lane that you're on. All right. I was doing a little video there of like some of the signs and the signposts, everything in boxes. Right. They're all in boxes. Everything's framed. All of the signposts, all of the traffic signs and everything is all in boxes. All right. With capital letters. So what does that mean? Okay, if you look at the four corner rule, which is a solid contract law rule, which I have actually watched recordings of court cases. I know it's boring, but it's the kind of thing like I like to watch. So they're talking on about contract law and trust law on these court cases, and the real court cases, they're actually got this, like, all the real people and everything. It's not actors or nothing like that. Obviously, I think most people would find it terribly boring, but I'm listening to them arguing about the four corner rule. This is in a courtroom, right? And they've got 3 or 4 judges because it's an appeal. And this is what I watch. And they're actually talking about, like, the four corner rule. It's broken the four corner rule so that this trust is not standing up. It's not real because if they haven't done it correctly, they've got something in a box. So if you put something in a box, then it's not on the paper. Okay, that's just contract law, the four corner rule. All right. So if you're not covering the whole skin, that's what it means. That's the terms they use. Okay. Then it's not lawful. It's not a lawful contract. And this is the thing, when they're talking about a lot of these court cases and everything, you have to listen to the words that they're using, because they talk a lot as well about a natural law. Now, this is going into equity. All right. So, like you've got the lower courts, let's call them the magistrates' courts, or any courts that are completely no legal standing, illegal, if you want to use their terms. They are not lawful, right? And no law, right? No law or statute can actually make them lawful. So we're talking about the higher courts. We're talking about like the courts that have equity. So equity is looking at fairness. Okay, equity is looking at your actions. So it's like it's more where you would actually get justice, right? Whereas like magistrates, God knows what goes on. You see as well, I'm not talking about it just being like a square or a rectangle, Paul. So if you look, they have got a border. If it's got a border, it's not on the sign. Think about this. We should try this. Who volunteers to go speeding and then get caught and then say, well, we couldn't see the speed limit because, right, it's that border like all around the sign means that those numbers aren't on there, so we couldn't see it. So it's got to be tried. I wonder what they would actually say then. All right. Okay, so let's have a look, see what everybody's where we're going. There's Dylan there, and then Dwayne as well. Greetings from freedom fighters. Nick Glenister. Okay. All right. Hiya, Bob. How are you doing? Got your popcorn? All right, there we are. Hiya, Mickey. You all right? But yeah, I'm not telling people to speed. I didn't mean that. I am obviously jesting. But just makes you wonder like about that, because like the signs, they're not lawful, right? Because if they're going on the four corner rule, exactly as I was watching in these court cases, all right, if they haven't correctly done it, which is somebody sent me a private trust, or they said it was a private trust, and then when can you have a look? And everything was in boxes, and I'm saying you can't do that, and it's got big logos all over the paperwork. So it's not covering the skin. You're actually blocking off the text being covering the skin. If you go and start a limited company and you get the certificate, on the certificate, they'll starts off and it's all on, there's no lines on it. There's no border on their certificates, because with it being, and it's legal, right? Their world, right? It's you're getting like a limited company. So because it's a limited company, it's going into the legal side. You're definitely working in commerce, but they don't have any borders because it covers the whole skin of the certificate, of the document, of the contract. All right. So if you're doing a trust, you have to make sure that when you're doing the paperwork on the trust, you don't use boxes, you don't underline it, and you don't use brackets, because whatever you do that, it actually breaks the contract. So you're breaking the four corner rule. And I've seen people on these court, and they're all, like I say, they're not actors. This is all proper case law, and this is what happened. And they've lost the houses because the trusts weren't correctly put up. And another thing is what they always talk about as well, because a lot of the trust court cases, the trusts are actually about the mortgages, because the mortgage deed is a trust. And when they're talking about the trust on the mortgage deed, they're always talking about the note, all right? The promissory note or the promissory note. That's what they're talking about. Sometimes on the promissory note, if it's been written incorrectly, the wrong name, etc. And I heard one the other day when it had the wrong name on, and they lost the house. Okay, so it's quite serious, isn't it? So this is all about how you actually write things out. It has to be written the correct way for it to be a solid contract. Be it on like a mortgage one, like that promissory note that they were doing. There was about, again, because these are all appeals that I watch, so it's quite high up. The what do you call it? They've got 3 or 4 judges on, so you can't have one judge because it's a court of appeal. On the bonded paper, not for a trust. Do you know what I do on the trusts now? Okay, just with reading, I use blue paper for all of the trust work. The certificates as well as the actual deeds are done on blue paper. So we're going to show you in a second, especially for someone who just asked about correcting the status. I'm going to show you the documents. We don't have blue paper, or you could have blue paper if you wish, but we put the ink in blue. So you either blue ink, not black, or if you having black ink, we have it on blue paper. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you, the thing is, like, you know, is Darren is a very, very good friend of mine. I love him to death, but like, he has been doing trust work for well over 30 years, all sorts of trusts as well, private trusts, statutory trusts, every single trust you could think of. He's actually been trained solicitors on how to do trusts and how to maintain trusts. Because, you know, if you go to a solicitor, they'll set up a trust, they'll charge you an arm and a leg, and then they'll charge you annually for fees, etc. Annually fees for, like, just for having it in their office, not sitting there getting covered in dust. But then if I have to do any corrections, they also charge you for that. Okay, so Darren, and he has worked with, like, some of the, well, probably the geniuses of trust work, people that were writing trusts that were just completely impregnable, like fighting governments and all sorts. All right, this is the experience that he has. But also he's got 30 years working experience. Now, because he's got 30 years working experience with that, he's got a massive amount of clients that it's existing clients with him. So now, as the world is going through insanity levels we've never seen before, even more insane than we've ever thought it could get, right? He's having a lot of clients coming to him now and wanting to get private trusts where before they had different types of trusts. So, like, just a ridiculous amount of work. All right. So if you can't get a hold of him, if he's not replying, try and be patient. But, you know, if you're getting to the end and you just can't, like, you're desperate, then contact me and I'll try and help you out with it. Okay. Funnily enough, right, I got a few weird questions which really put me sort of like on. Not defensive, but like, I was like, that's not right. Those questions are not right. Who are you? You know, and there's a lot of weird people in this world, and there's a lot of people that are not the nicest people in the world. And, you know, they were asking these questions about, like, you know, what do you, about the trusts and about how I do things. And it was just a bit too much. And it was just saying, like, you know, what kind of backup do you do and all of this and everything like that. And then, you know, it's just too much, really. Very, very weird questions and everything like that. I was getting, like, my hackles were up on my neck. I was saying there's something dodgy about this, whoever it was, okay, man or woman on this thing. So, you know, and they just went, what do you do? I just put, no, I don't, right? Go elsewhere. You know, I work very well with people, you know, but, like, when people come on the wrong way, then at the end of the day, I'm not looking to sell anything. I'm not looking to get involved with others, like, in a deep way or anything. Like, you know, if people need help, I'm going to help them. But, like, you know, you can just get a sense for things where something's not right, something's weird, and they're coming over with all these questions. Like, it was like, you know, it was like a clown in a costume dragged me down the station and try to, like, put the light on and interrogate me. I'm like, not having that. It's just a bit too much. And then, funny enough, there was, like, other people coming on different channels and that and saying things about other documentation. It's just like, oh, probably coincidence. Probably is coincidence, really. But it just like all that I thought was a bit weird. And people send me stuff, you know. Yeah. I mean, do you know what it is? See, trust no one, right? And the thing is, you gotta trust your higher self, and you gotta think your higher self. And it did give me goosebumps. It just like that was just like, oh. So I'm not, you know, I'm not getting involved when, you know. Give me a look. So let's have a look at some questions just in case to see if there's anything coming up there. I am going to crack on. I'm going to show you that, whoever it was. Hang on. All right. So. All right. Let's put like Andy on there. So, all right. He's put up like, would bonded paper make any difference for trust paper? Now, again, when I was watching these court cases, you know, the fun I have, it just like I was watching and they lift up obviously the documents, and they got all the trust documents, and they're showing them where there was a box or whether what, you know, and talking about has it filling the skin, is it covering the four corner rule? And it was nothing like bonded paper. All it is like, well, I mean, whatever paper, but it's not bonded. So all right. Look. Dog Latin. Yeah. Very good. All right. So there's Malcolm from Yorkshire as well. Okay. Oh. Okay. The truth is sovereign. Hi, Peter. How are you doing? Good. All right. So somebody there got their ticket. Matt has got his ticket for Kings Langley. Good. That's looking forward to going down. Let's have a look. Okay. Let's see that. All right. So they say how can liars access a trust fund? Well, I don't know really what that means. How can a liar access a trust fund? What do you mean a trust fund? Don't really know what that means. Okay, so Gethanay says, how long does it take to set up a trust? Well, you know, going through the paperwork and talking to people and everything, everybody's different. But I know some have took like 4 or 5 months. But when we've done them, it usually takes about 3-4 weeks, something like that on average. You know. All right. Hiya, Nitya. How you doing? All right. So when you're doing notices, when you do them, notice, what type of notice? When I'm dealing with debt letters and everything like that, when I do the debt notices, then I do them all on like normal white paper, but I do it in blue ink, everything in blue, because blue is banking and finance, you know. So don't write in black, which is celebrating the dead, you know. Totally agree with this as well there. Like solicitors are under the bar. Yeah, they have to. They're sworn to the bar, sworn to the court. So they have to make sure the court gets paid before anyone else gets paid. Yeah, that is for sure. All right. Is it correct that we can't use a promissory note until we have changed our status? I think you mean PN promissory note. No, you can use that at any time. But like the thing is, it's like, you know, I'm studying a course now on a different version of how to use a promissory note. Okay. So it's completely different to what anything that I've studied before. And I'm going to see if this got anywhere, you know, anywhere to fit in. You see, because what I do think now, if you look at like people like Christopher Hauser on his YouTube channel, we've got a lot of members that have been following him and doing this 1099 process. So, and he's showing how to do the 1099 OID and the 1099A. Now, I've been like doing the 1099 OID studying for a long time. Yeah. So, all right. Okay. So, oh no, I didn't mean to do that one. All right. But, all right. Yeah, blue everything. Blue thumbprints. Yeah, you got to do the blue thumbprint. 'Cause we used to do it in red, but then this year, and we're at the court, and, and this crazy barrister just went on for about 40 minutes about like a red thumbprint, going to close the court, biohazard, and all this nonsense. It was like, oh, come on. All right, oh, that's interesting. Because you see, I've watched a video done a few years ago, and the author said that the mortgage deed and the mortgage note must not be separated. If separated, the mortgage is null and void. So interesting. Because the promissory note that they do to actually sell, or sorry, that they sell, that goes away straight away, doesn't it? So, Deanne, how do you find me on Facebook? On what do you call it? Contract law. All right, that's the name of the group that we're on. Yeah, definitely got to use your instincts, because that just had me really, really freaked out. Okay, so like a Facebook user, it's like been missing in action, had a baby. So congratulations. All right. Okay, excellent. Yeah, got to trust them senses, Ben. The something definitely was off there with people trying to ask really very weird questions and trying to get in, and what backup do you do, and what the thing is, like I don't sort of like advertise things or anything like that, and if people want to find things, they will, but like the on for instance, the trusts, and like it is hard to get a hold of Darren, and you know what I mean. But he's great. If I ever have any questions, or I think, oh, well, I want to ask about that, I can get a hold of him. Obviously, we're very good friends. Known each other a while, and the wealth of knowledge is amazing. Okay. But I've been studying like for years on trusts and tort. I was just really into the tort law, TORT, as well as the trusts. And, like I've been looking at, especially on some of these books that you buy, right? And you try and get them from secondhand shops as well, and things like that, because they're about, like some of them are nearly like £2,000, £2,000. But you can get them secondhand sometimes, and they're a bit tatty, but you get them for a few £100. And it's on how to set up private trusts, and the wording that has to be used, all got to be the correct wording. And if you don't do it on a private basis, especially when you look to be a man, which is the way I want to be working, just a man or a woman. If you're a woman, then you can actually make it so it's null and void. And also the thing with, if you're underlining something or bolding, put like a bold headline and things like that, that can actually break that rule. And if it's not using the same font, on the same size font, the same color ink and everything like that, then it's not going to be correct. And it's amazing what you can actually learn. But so when we're going to do a trust, we're going to do a trust for somebody if we thought that we was a good fit for them and a good fit for us, and we would do the trust for them. We'll set up the trust. We'll go through it all, get it all agreed on both sides. Once we've created all the documentation, then we'll get it expressed. It needs to be expressed. If you haven't got a private expression, right, or a deed of expression on a private trust, then how are you ever going to prove that you had a trust? That's what you're going to get challenged on. There's 3 certainties that you have to prove for there to be a trust. The main one that we're going to be challenged on, in the opinion of I, is the intention. Okay, did you intend, the certainty of intention? Did you intend to create a trust, or do you just saying it now because we're going to try and steal your house off you? Right. So this is the thing on asset protection. Anyone can actually put in for a bankruptcy order on you if you've got over £5,000 worth of debt in their eyes with them. So if it's £5,001, they can apply for a bankruptcy order on you. Then if you go bankrupt, they can take your house, right? If it's worth 200,000, they'll sell it for like 70,000, probably to one of their contacts, their friends, right? And you're going to lose everything, you know? So make sure that you can actually get the trust set up to protect your assets. Now, you can do it even if you have a mortgage. You're putting your equitable interest into the trust, not obviously the mortgage. And the mortgage will stay there because it's a charge, right? So if you imagine it's a line like this, the straight line over here, right? There is your property. Right next to it is a charge on there, which is the bank saying, you know, if you sold the house, they're going to get money before you see anything. That's the charge, right? And then the rest of it is your equitable interest. You can put that into a private trust. It doesn't matter if there's a mortgage. You have to inform the mortgage company. You do. But you can change the deed, right, of the name for the remainder, for the equity, if you like, you want to call it that, right? So you want to protect your assets. You can also do a ring fence, but that's a lot more complicated. I'm not going to go into that right now. Hang on, let's take this down a little bit, because that can actually get very complicated. And I do know someone who did it incorrectly. Now, I'll tell you about it because it is important that you shouldn't mess around with these forms unless you know what you're doing. When you're dealing with the land registry, I'm going to show you the forms in a minute. Okay, so we've just done them for somebody else again there. We do an AP1, AP, Alpha Papa 1, okay, and also a TR1. So what you're doing is you're changing the registry and you're transferring the registry. Now, we transfer it for no value. You put an X in the box, no value. You're not selling it, right? You're transferring it to the trustees, and it's got in the box. Both boxes have got to, both forms. Can't remember the numbers of the boxes now, but they've got to match. And you do not have to tell anyone the names of the trustees, right? Now, I've spoke to. We've got an office here. What do you call it? HM Land Registry office, not far from here. And I've spoken to the managers, you know, and very helpful, absolutely great. And you do not have to put the names of the trustees. Not that it would matter anyway, because it's the beneficiaries that have to be private, not the trustees. A private trust is being private in the assets and private on the beneficiaries. The trustees doesn't matter, but you still do not have to put them on. And I've spoken to the managers at the big office here, the land registry office. It's in Durham. And you don't have to put them on. So you're actually protecting your assets in that way. So once it's been expressed into a trust, then you're putting the changing the land registry. So the trustees are on the trust or on the land registry, not your name. Okay. So we have to copy what the wealthy, right? They call themselves whatever they want to call themselves, right? But they've had everything in trust. So we've got old Schwabby, all right? Schwabby Bobby. And he's going to Klausy Wousy. Right, and he's saying like you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. All right, well, you can do one. So what I want to do it is own nothing but control everything. It sounds a lot better. So you own nothing because you put it into a trust and you control the trust. You control what property is in there. Be it, you know, you're putting your property in like as in your building, right? But property means proper to I. Unique to I, not shared with the community. So that means your sons and daughters, by the way, because they are not shared with the community. They are unique to I, or unique to, I can't say the man, the woman that everyone is. Okay, so let me have a look, quickly go down. All right. Yes, yes. Blue for contract. Yeah, exactly. That's why we do it in blue ink, Andy. You see? So you can do it on blue paper or blue ink. So on the trust side, I always do it in blue paper as well. Everything, even the certificates, because we have certificate of trustees, we have certificate of the creation of the trust, right? And we do it in blue. And, you know, you can get it sealed. You can even do what you should do, right? People, some people anyway, get a notary to sign the trust documents. I've never have. But once I have created the deed, the trust, and also the memorandum, right, of creation, and it has inside the document, it's actually got, well, what I do is I go onto a royalmail.com. I've got an account. You can do it yourself. It's for free, and you can go and buy, instead of going to the post office, you go and buy the whatever you want. So first class signed for is what I do. So you get first class signed for, right? Then you get a tracking number on it, and it gives you it straight away. And you can print out. It's only £2.35 or something. You print out, you know, your postage document. It's in two halves. You cut off the top half, which has got proof of posting, and it's got the tracking number on and the address you sent it to, right? So I'll tell you a story about that in a second. It's really funny about a debt company. And on the bottom is just their address. You cut it out, and it's got the tracking number on there as well, right? The postage, and it's got the is it the QR code or is it a barcode? Whatever it is, anyway, barcode, I think, and that's the postage. So you glue that on, a little bit of, what do you call that stuff? Pritt stick, glue it on, and then you can post that off. Just stick it in a normal letterbox, a red one, all right? Post it to yourself. When it arrives here, you're going to sign, the post is going to ask you to sign for it. Then you go back onto the Royal Mail website, and you can see not only have you got proof of postage, because you have got that when you bought it initially, and you've got that kept, Royal Mail headline, Royal Mail document, but then you've got like proof that it was signed for, what time it was signed for, and who signed for it, and what date, and everything. Royal Mail proof, 2 sets, postage and receipt. So, and it's got the tracking number that is inside the deed document and the memorandum of creation document. It's inside. So if that isn't proof of intention, the certainty of intention, did you really create a trust? Well, I'm not going to post it off to myself with all of this recorded mail if I didn't intend to create a trust. That's what you're going to get challenged on, right? So if anyone's going to try and bankrupt you and say, I want your house, you can't, it's in a trust. Oh, you haven't got a trust. I was dealing with a clown in a costume a couple of months ago now, actually. And I went, look, this is all private. Get off my land. And he's like, oh, this is just written out. You know, this isn't a trust. Thinking like, you know, you wouldn't know a trust if it was a ton brick and fell on your head, man. You fool, right? Like, you know, in essence, in reality, you can do a trust orally by saying, I have a private trust. That is a trust expressed. It truly is. So then what you do is you back it up by having it written down. Even in the documentation, it says we first expressed the trust orally by saying it. So once we've done the Royal Mail thing, and you can also send the creation, the trustee document, trustee certificate, and the units of beneficial interest certificates. All right, so you should have them. You can post them to yourself with the tracking numbers on as well. So that's like 100%. Like you've got the proof that it was a trust deed, but also the trust certificates. You don't give the trust certificates to anyone, by the way. You know, that's like, you know, that's the goal. You give the copies to people. You don't give them the actual real certificates. Then we also have it expressed in a local newspaper. But you're not putting any private information in or anything like that. All you are doing is actually telling them there's a private trust created. But by doing this, you're actually stepping into the legal world to tell them to leave you alone in the private. Okay, so you're doing the public side and the private side. So when we go on the newspaper, it just says on the top, the title says public notice. If it says public notice, it makes it a legal notice, like exactly the same as what would be in the Guardian in London. Yeah, that's what it's called, isn't it? The Guardian. So, oh no, is it the Gazette? It's a Gazette, isn't it? Yeah, someone tell me on the comments. It's one of them two. But anyway, so yeah, Gazette, I think. But right, you put it on there, it's public notice, that's all it says, and it says a private trust was created today on blah blah date. trust name is blah, 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 private trust. Property was deposited. I actually tried to get them to say res was deposited, but they wouldn't let me do it because they didn't understand what it meant. I said, well, can I put property? They went, yeah, no problem. So property was deposited into the trust with title number, blah, 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 blah. You've made up your title number. Any inquiries about this private trust, send email to, and you can create your own Hotmail, Gmail, whatever, just for your private trust. So you can have like, Peter's private trust at gmail.com or whatever. And that goes in the local newspaper. So you've done your Royal Mail, right? You can do it for the memorandum and for the trust deed. Get them signed and everything first before you send them in, right? So, and it's got the document, it's got the tracking numbers inside the documents. Then you're sending them off to yourself. You're getting it signed for, all by Royal Mail confirmation that you created a deed of trust. It's expressed as a private trust. Then you do it in the newspaper with that public notice, with no private information in, right? And you're just stating it's been created. So that is like, I would love to see somebody get past the intention, the certainty of intention, right? So the other certainty is the certainty of subject matter, which you've already just covered that. The subject matter means property. So your res. So what you've done is you've actually stated that property was deposited into the trust you created. So there's your two certainties already. And the next certainty, the third one, is the certainty of objects, which is a very funny way of calling people, right, a beneficiary. But that's what it is. The third one is the objects. It means a beneficiary. Well, you've stated who the beneficiaries are, but because it's private, you don't have to tell anyone. You see? And that's how we've actually got it set up. And that's how we make it really belt and braces. All right. Okay. Oh, hey, Paul, how are you doing? There's Paul there. Just organising the Next Step Private Trust Manchester event coming soon. Yeah, I was at Manchester 23rd, wasn't it, Paul? 23rd of July. And we will be going back there. I think October was said, but we'll have a look anyway. Get some more reggae music dancing in the car park. Oh, hey, David, he's awesome. David, he put his music on in the car park because it was Rasta Christmas or something, he said. So he's dancing in the car park with his music blaring. We're inside telling them how to, get one over on the police, and then this is crawling with police. It was good fun. It was great. Okay. All right, let's have a look. Where what? Hang on. Oh, right. Okay. Well, this is interesting. All right. So, Dimebor and Andy will know a little bit about what we've been doing, or what I've been doing, on the PMA stuff. So the council, they've put an Article 4 direction on a man's freehold land, removing the development right to build shelter. Okay, well, only if you let them, because when you're saying the local council haven't done it, the local council can't do anything because the local council doesn't exist. What it is it's a man in the local council that's done that, not the local council. All right, does that make sense? It's not the council, because the council is a piece of paper. It's somebody has done an action that they've actually done themselves. They've created that thing. Section 4, what did you go? Article 4, right? So somebody did that. So what you have to do is you actually have to notice that man, send a notice to that man or that woman. I, a man, Peter Wilson, right? Write it correctly, call on everything. And then you send it to them. Are you wishing to commit a trespass? Because what they're doing is a trespassing, right? Or not trespassing, that's not correct. They are committing a trespass upon you, right? But they can't say you, upon the man. You would actually say, do you intend to trespass against I? So, just remember this, the government doesn't exist, but a man in a government doing something, they exist. And they might try and say it's the government, it's the council. No, you're a man, you're a woman, and you are responsible for your own actions. You can be held accountable on a man or a woman basis because that's what you are. So you notice the man or the woman, Okay, very powerful stuff. And it's like, are you intending to trespass against I? And it's I with a little dot on. It's not the capital, your head cut off, decapitated. All right. Okay, totally forgot where I was up to there. ER, hi, how are you doing? Been using red for what, Gethin? What have you been using red for? Black ink is for the dead. Absolutely correct. Okay. Yeah, well, we will be giving you a bit more information on the 1099A. Although I haven't done the A, I've done an OID. So, you know, and we're just waiting on more actual information about that. But listen, right, this is the hilarious thing. You got, you know, I get slagged off all the time by people because, like, you know, I put on about knowing we are linked to the IRS. We are linked to the United States. We are under the United States when it comes to the Treasury. If you want to access what the people call my trust, you have to look at doing 1099 work with the Treasury in the United States under the IRS, and you have to do it, and you have to speak to them. Now, like, you know, we know people who've actually getting the checks coming through from the US. Okay, so if you know, but other people who think and they'll spout off and they call it the truth movement, what a ridiculous term, right? And they say I'm crazy, I'm stupid, and everything like that, right? You know, for like talking about the UCC because it's American, or talking about the IRS because it's American. We are all under the IRS, and we are all connected doing commerce on the UCC. The whole world is. Doesn't matter where you live, apart from, like, you know, it looks like the world is split in half. On the western side, on this western, if you want to call it western, right? It seems that you know, the cabal, the Western central banks are the evil scum, right? But we are connected to that Treasury account there, and people are accessing the Treasury account by going, not promissory notes in the UK, all right? They're using 1099s, okay? You know, so and that's how they're doing it now. If you look at Christopher Hawes's channel on YouTube, he's got some great information on it. We've got people who have reporting getting this close. All right. I'm not saying names or anything like that. You know, it's because I haven't said, you know, I haven't sort of like put themselves out there. But like buying houses, very close to doing it, and also settling off like debts, like not just, what do you call them? Scottish Power electric bill, $2.5 grand gone, accepted. Couldn't do it with a promissory note or promissory note, however you want to pronounce it, but doing it on a 1099. It's incredibly interesting. So you've got to look more about, like, if you're wanting to like think about like the straw man. We all know the straw man concept is completely real, right? We know we have got a person, but we're not a person. We are a man, but we have a person that we have to deal with. It's our monopoly piece, and our monopoly piece can be in the public, but I, a man, are in the private. How comes that people can know that and accept that and work with that, but then they won't delve deeper and dig deeper, or are they so pig-headed that just like, no, I know everything and I'm better than everyone else in the world, and you're not study more and realize and find out that you're actually tied to the IRS, and there is a remedy to help you get through, right, this system. But they don't have to tell you what the remedy is. They don't have to tell you how to do it, how to get it, but it's there. Now, you know, all I can say is, like, go and have a look at Christopher Hawes's channel, Hauser, however you pronounce it. I'm sure somebody told me he's doing the 1099A and the 1099 OID, how to do the forms. So, right, study that channel, go on there and study it. I've spent thousands, literally thousands, on studying these courses. I've done live courses, like, you know, for like, you know, 7-8 hours a day, right, for the Saturday and Sunday for like 3-4 weeks, studying them 1099s, and then I've got them on flash drives, got them upstairs so I can rewatch it again. It's massively complicated, and everyone that I've spoke to in the United States, all of them confirm, right, that anywhere in the world is all tied to the IRS, okay, and you can all access a 1099. So they can do accept for value, A for V. They do it there easily by returning the fines, for instance, as well. But here, nobody seems to be able to do it. And I think it's because we should be getting it done through the IRS. I really do. You know, people think I'm crazy, but I tell you what it was. You know, it's oh, hiya, Paul. You're on there tonight. Good. Yeah, had a great chat with you today. It was excellent. Yeah, and I'll see you down in Plymouth as well. So remember those events coming up. Okay. Yeah, 1099A, 100% can be done in the UK. It can be done anywhere in the world. Okay, 1099A, 1099OID. All right, they can be done anywhere in the world. It's not just the US. Okay, we are so tied to the US. It's you know. Okay, hang on. I'm going through some. The statutory declaration. Have you ever used one? What, I don't really know what you mean. I mean, I know what a statutory declaration was, but it really, the L&D is kind of one of them, isn't it? Right? What we're doing, which was what I was meant to show everybody, which like we've been on for nearly an hour, and I haven't showed anybody anything. What I was going to do is show you these forms, but I'm not sure how good it'll look. Okay. Oh, I put that up there. Look at that. There you go. Okay. So do you have to be in the private before you do a trust? Well, I mean, the thing is, right, my opinion is like, look, you have to know thyself, which is a man or a woman, in the private. You just have to know it and adopt it. So yeah, you can do the status correction. You can send the L&D off, but right, you got to know it here anyway. It's pointless sending it off and not doing anything else. Inside work, you have to work on yourself and know what you are. That's where you're going to get your power from. That's where you're going to be able to explain things. It's all spiritual. It really is. Now, I don't care what anyone else says. Unless you've got that spirituality down, it won't work. All right. This is why, right, when you just say, oh, I just don't want to pay me council tax. Well, that's not the right attitude, and it's not going to work. I'm not paying me bill. I'm not paying this. It's not going to work. Right, you need to be working on yourself. You need to be working on the inside of you and knowing what you are, because we're all from the Creator. This truly is a spiritual thing, and we're in a massive spiritual war. And the evil, right, 20 years ago, they would have never been doing the things that they're doing now. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, right? So they're on the tipping point of trying to kill everyone. Now, this thing about this, what I don't know what it's called, something like Don't Pay UK or something like that. They're telling everybody not to pay bills. That is the government, right? Do not think that that is anything to do with like a good side. That Don't Pay UK, where it's telling you not to pay in October. I can't remember what it is. I just see flashes coming up, I ignore it all. You ignore it all. Do not do it. Don't get involved with that group. Because I tell you what, if you've liked it, if you've clicked it, if you've commented on it, they've got your contact details. They are harvesting your data. So if you're clicking on anything that's got Don't Pay UK, doing all that, they're harvesting your data. They are taking and collecting data. This is what they do. This is the Tavistock Institute in London, right, that are actually gaslighting everyone and pulling in all that information. So stay away from that bullshit, okay? I know that's a different segment altogether, but all right, just bear that in mind. So you don't have to be private to get the private trust, but you do have to know it inside. Get the spirituality side going. All right. I'm not saying go to church. I'm not going to church, but which has got nothing to do with church. I'm talking about like getting into nature. I get down to the beach every day. I go into the woods every day and I connect with nature and I meditate while I'm walking on the beach and in the woods. And it's all about knowing who we are. This is what we need to do. The only way that we're going to beat this scum is by lifting up our vibration and lifting up the vibration of the planet, because it works as a conscious collective. All right. And we can lift everyone up at the same time. Because what will happen is, like, the ones that have all been doing the old Beetlejuice, right? They're all going to be dropping like flies soon, beetles and flies. So as they're getting rid of their negative attitude, but our attitude keeps building, then the planet's vibration will lift and we can move on to the timeline that we want to be on and get rid of the scum we want to get rid of. All right. You may or may not get it. You may or may not believe me. Okay. All right. So what trusts? Oh, yeah, I'll just put it up. All right. What book can you get to learn about private trusts? Well, I think you should learn about trusts altogether, but then on private trusts. A good one on private trusts is called The Art of Passing the Buck. Can't remember who wrote it. It's brilliant. The Art of Passing the Buck. Okay. But also, is it Gilbert's? I think it's Gilbert's. Trust and Equity and Suits in Equity. It's expensive, you know, but yeah, that's what you want to be looking at. Okay. All right. All right. So the actual thing is with the certificate, it's just a certificate. All you're doing is a creation. Doesn't matter about the border on there because it's not the trust. The trust is the deed. Does that make sense? So it's just a certificate that you can have, all right, which is just for you, and it actually just proves that you've created it as well. It's belt and braces, all right, but you don't have to worry about the border on the certificate. However, you could, if you wanted to do it and take the border off the certificate, you can as well. Okay. All right, certificated paper. Do you mean like with it what do you call it? The watermark on? Is that what you mean, Andy? You could do that. Yeah. Proof of intent. That's exactly what we mean. That's why we have to do that. Proof of intent. The London Gazette. I knew it was something like that. Yeah. But the thing is, with you, we can't do it. I've been trying to get an account with them and everything. But you can do it on your local paper as long as you're expressing it. Just that little box. Advert, it's a box, and on the top it says public notice, which makes it legal, which is weird, you know, because we don't really want it legal, but it's got stepping into their world. There, the Gazette. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, the Chronicle. Yeah. Oh, where's that gone now? I'm going down where I would go down. I was down Wales a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't. I just had a meeting. But yeah, I mean, you know, I would get somebody actually asked me to go to Anglesey as well, you know, which I'd love to. I was actually in Llandudno with a double L, and then we went further along, just away from Llandudno, and you could see Anglesey, the island, it looked beautiful. And someone was saying, can we be a non-EU private? I don't know what that means, Andy. A non-EU? Well, we're not in the EU, are we? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, and Paul is saying, do you make one notice or three? For what? For what? For the debt, for the you know, or the trusts. Okay. Yeah, you see, that's exactly right. See, it makes perfect sense. The council, it's a fiction. The government is a fiction. There'll be somebody in there. There is a man that did something. Find out the name. I tell you, I've been fighting the council, but instead of fighting the council, I've been fighting the 151 officer because I've got someone to tell me the name. Right? That I've out of the blue, I got this thing and they were finding me for information. So who are you to find me? Like, you know, so I sent this information back. They've went silent now. Okay, because when I'm writing as a man. I am a man, right? And I'm standing on private land in a private trust, right? Working on a private members association, which is a private ministry, i.e. a church. who are you to write to me? Or write to I should say. And I've never had any 2 months now, no reply. You know, they are a man or a woman. There's no such thing as a council. There's no such thing as a government. There's no such thing as HMRC. There's a man in HMRC somewhere in an office, right? That is who you deal with. That is what you do. You go for them, okay? All right. So I have heard of this, the OPPT Trust 1776. All right. Well, you know, everyone can obviously do whatever they want to do, you know, but you know, it's like I know that I'm setting up a complete private trust. I'm not having anyone that, and I wasn't alive in 1776, or at least not in this incarnation. So I didn't sign any documents in 1776, which is like, you know, the independence, you know, for the United States, which has nothing to do with us anyway. So, you know, I'll stick with a private trust. Okay. All right. Hiya, Andrew. How are you doing? Yeah, about the Gazette, right? Well, you know, not everybody thinks the same as I, okay? And I actually have had discussions, we'll put it that way, with, you know, others, let's say, about that. But the thing is, it's all private, right? We're not putting any private information on there, but it is a public expression. And I'd love to see anybody try and beat you and say you didn't create that trust once you've actually done that. Yeah, you see, that's there you go. That's what I was saying about the OPPT, you know, like, but you know, everybody's got to try their own things, you know, but it is what it is, and you know what, I know that we're going to do a private trust. That private trust is going to be like solid, especially if you do it the way that I'm doing it, right, with the mail, getting that. I've got to get back to somebody actually about some PMA stuff, but you know, someone else who thought they had a private trust, then when I went over the information, went, wow, that's amazing, I'm going to do that, right, to remedy what they thought was a private trust, and they were working in the law. Okay. All right. So I'm just putting this up because I don't really understand what that means. You see, this is where I get confused, because there's other groups offering set off debt, taxes, etc. I don't know what that means, set off. What does that mean? You pay them some money and then they will actually crush the debt. Is that what you mean? Or the taxes or anything like that? Is that what they're saying? I know that there's a few groups that are shooting each other and arguing with each other and trying to kill each other, and I never get involved with any of them because they're all insane and all. But I tell you, if you've got a credit card debt, you can stop the credit card debt. If you've got personal loans, you can stop the personal loans. Now, what happens is after we've stopped it for a while, then I'm going to send it to a debt collector. When you send it to a debt collector, they've broken GDPR, then you can attack them, you can get it closed down. Now, what happens is if it's a credit card, for instance, right, let's just say you've got like a credit card with any bank, doesn't matter which one, and then you stop paying. After 2 to 3 months of all the letters, and they're getting nastier, and then they will say, we're sending it to collection. What they do is, in reality, they close the account. What does that mean? If they've closed the account, then you don't owe anything. It's gone. It's finished. But what they do is they sell the data. Now, they don't just sell your £300, £400, £500, right? Or it could be thousands of pounds. If you've got credit cards, you can go 10, 15,000. I've seen them, right? So what they'll do is they'll put that, whatever it is, block into a huge block of all the other debt right across the whole country. They'll make it up about 1 million or something, and they'll sell it on a website to these debt collection companies, and they'll buy it for like $1 million. They'll buy for 10 grand, 20 grand. It's for nothing. All right. Because if they were doing a real deed of assignment, a deed of assignment would give them a chose in action. Okay. That means that they are allowed to enforce the debt. But if they were going to buy a 10 grand debt, they'd have to pay 10 grand for it. All right. Or very close to. So it's not profitable. So they buy it for pennies and then hound the hell out of everyone that's scared and end up paying. But the thing is, they have no deed of assignment, right? A deed of assignment under that Law of Property Act 1925, Section 136, Part 1, means that they have to have a deed of assignment which is signed by both parties and then sent to you by recorded delivery. That never happens because they do not buy the deed of assignment, which is the real way of buying a debt. All they do is they act like the mafia and they sell them the data, and then they've sold your data. That is against GDPR. That is how you attack them. You don't have to go and pay anyone else if you don't want to. Just do it that way. Send them a DSAR, data subject access request. And you say, right, where is the deed of assignment? If you're saying that you've actually got the authority to collect this, show me the deed of assignment that I should have had under under Law of Property Act 1925, Section 136, Part 1. All right. And if it's not that, then it would be like the other assignment, which needs to be in writing under Section 53, Part 1. But they haven't got either. Right. They haven't got the assignment in equity, and they haven't got the assignment in full, which is the deed of assignment. They have got no deed. Right. And it's under the Law of Property Act because all debts have a deed. And if it's all treated the same as a house, it's got a deed. All right. I've even had the credit card companies write back and saying, what are you talking about, a deed of assignment or property law? It's nothing to do with property. It's just a credit card. This is from their data protection officer. So, I mean, they don't even know their own, like their own job, right? So that's how you actually, like, whatever it is that you'd said there, you know, like about these groups that are offering things, you know, you don't have to go and pay massive amounts of money. Right. And if there's any groups that's telling you, give me a few thousand, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 pounds, I'll get rid of your mortgage for you. They're full of it. And you can smell it through the internet. Right. You don't give them a penny and you don't deal with them. OK. Right. And these groups that are charging fortunes to go and do like get rid of your debts and everything and get your taxes, they're lying. Right. Now, there are certain ways of doing things, but what these companies are doing is scamming you. It's disgusting that they're doing it with people that are desperate. Right. But everybody knows when you've got desperate people that there's a buck to be made. All right. So they're actually milking you for it. OK. But, you know, just be careful. OK, what we're doing. All right. All right, let's go on down. I still haven't shown you any of the forms. We're not going to have time to show you the forms. Look at that. You see, Mars Life. The IRS is your friend if you know how to use it as the beneficiary. That's 100% true. You get on there and start working on them 1099s, right? And there's different other forms, but the heading comes under 1099. There's many different forms you have to do. All right. You know, but that is absolutely true. That is where the remedy lies, you know. And this one as well from Dorian, which I was just saying before about the spirituality. We are having a human experience, but we are spiritual. We have a soul, and the soul is indestructible. You cannot kill the soul. This is just a meat suit. And when it's gone, the flesh suit will get burned or buried, right? But the spirit and the soul, the entity, the energy cannot be destroyed, and that will just move on. All right. And then once you've moved on, you'll actually know. Okay. Is that right? That's good to know. So your angel without wings is very prominent tonight. Watch back your right ear. Is that this one or this one? I'm not sure, like, because of the way around. Well, that's lovely. Thank you very much. I will watch that back. And again, see, we are. I mean, this is what we've got to know, that we're in the spiritual world. We have to be fighting them on a spiritual level. So you cannot go in with just like, oh, I just don't want to pay me council tax. because it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. If you don't do it correctly, it's not going to work. All right. You have to work first, like on you. All right. You have to get yourself correct. You have to know your spirituality. You have to connect to source. We're all coming from the creator. We're all coming from source. And you have to connect to Gaia. You have to actually get your connection to source and down into Gaia, because we're part of Earth. Like the creator actually created us and then gave us dominion over the mother, over the Earth, right? So we have to make sure that we are connected to Earth. If you get the chance, I don't care if you live in a massive city, go and find some grass and stand bare feet on the grass. Connect to the grass. That's why they're selling all this fake grass shit to you. They don't want you connecting to Earth. That's why they're making it. When they say concrete jungle, they mean it. It's just full of concrete. It's crap. Get on the grass and get bare feet, right? Get them bare feet walking on the grass. Get down to the beach if you can. I know we're incredibly lucky, and I'm grateful, and I always like give thanks to the Creator every day for the gratitude I have of being living on the beach, straight out, walk down to the beach. All right, the Janine goes swimming. I don't. It's too cold for me. I dabble my toes and run away. But like we're on the sand, and then we're getting into the woods, and we're like, we are tree huggers. We're giving the trees a big hug, and we love the nature, and we connect with nature. You've got to do it. It's the only way to really start connecting to source, right? Direct source, and also connecting to Gaia. And if we can't do that, and if you're not going to do that, nothing else is going to work. All right. So I'm terrible with temper and everything like that. I really like practice not being bad. I'm not on about like with everyone else, but like, clowns in costumes and council. It just makes me get boils my piss. All right. But this is what we have to try and do. Okay. All right. See here. This is okay, but in reality, you probably get more information on here. You know that. But if you could spend the time reading that, yeah, I've got them all. I've got them all. Everything you can imagine. I have a huge library. Okay. There you go. That's what I was just saying. Don't pay UK. Absolute bollocks. Don't do any of this nonsense. Whatever they're doing, they're collecting your data. They just want to know who it is that they want to round up when the shit hits the fan. So don't connect to them. Don't tell them or comment on any groups or anything that's doing this. They are after you big time. All right. Stay away from it. Okay. All right. How did you get that? How did you get what? I don't know. Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. The Tavistock, they are such an evil, right, bunch of scumbags, and you got to be so careful. So all this, like, don't pay UK, the Tavistock, it's like all gaslighting. It's all psychological warfare, right? Just thinking, it's 9 o'clock now nearly, and I haven't shown you a single form I was going to show you. Maybe do you know what? Everything happens for a reason, isn't it? Nothing is like a coincidence. Everything is connected, and it's all happening for reasons. It's so true. So maybe just the talking the way that we're talking was just the way it had to be tonight. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, what I don't like to use is that word, but I do like to use the creator. Okay. So, but we are, and you got to know your standard, because you're right. Think of it as like, well, I like to say the pyramid, but other people say like the totem pole. But let's just say it's the pyramid. On the pyramid, at the top of the pyramid, there's a creator, and right underneath there, right, there's man. Okay. But if you looked at it like a totem pole, some of the people say, well, look, there's a totem pole. It's not, like, it's a bit of crystal. But on the top, right, there's the creator, okay? And then just underneath, there's man. Here's government, right? This is where we are. Man, okay? That's where we are. So we have to learn how to do that. And there you go. Exactly. We are a walking ministry, Andy. Yeah, perfect. I love that. That's brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So the let's get that away there. So all right. So this is the thing. See, right. See, I start a new job on Monday. When you got a job, right? What is a job? This is what you hear: criminals and bank robbers and everything. I don't think you can rob banks. I don't think got any money in it. But right, they were going to be doing a job, right? Because it's an illicit gain, right, for doing something that's not right. Okay, that's of bad form. So you're actually going to rob a bank because it's a job. You're going to burgle a house because you're on a job, right? So you don't want a job. I know it's really difficult, but you've got to try and find ways of where you can actually get compensation for your sweat equity. That's where you don't, as a man cannot be taxed. A man, cannot be taxed. I cannot have a job. But what I will do is I'll actually do trades with people. And when you can trade a man on man or a man on woman and you trade with them, then you'll swap compensation for sweat equity. You have donations. That is how it works. And that is how a PMA works. And then you have PMAs that work with PMAs, right? Private members associations. So what it is, it's what they call an NGO, non-governmental organization. So on a ministry, like what Andy just said, we're all a walking ministry. So a walking with a G, not a walk in, right? So that we're all a ministry. So we are our own ministry, right? Now, as a ministry, that means that you are your own church. Okay, so we're all ministers. We do not have to be paying a tax. You only pay a tax as a person. If you want to be a person, you want to pay tax, fine. If you're a person and you do not pay tax, then you're going to jail. But if you're a man and you're in the private and you are just working, like, you won't be working because you'll be giving labor or sweat equity or compensation. Okay. But how you would do it if you got under what they go on a PAYE, pay as you earn, which, by the way, okay, there is no law in the world that says a company, and it's going on the commercial, on the commerce, but it still is a fact. There is no law that says a company must deduct your tax. There's no law that says they have to do the PAYE scheme. So what you can do is you can find out who is the financial director of the company you're going to be joining, and then you can send a notice to them. I, a man, want to ask, are you a man, Fred Bloggs of blah blah company, looking to commit a trespass against I by the way of theft, i.e. taking these government fees away from my wages before I receive them. This is theft. This is a trespass by way of theft against I. Okay, notice them as a man, and you notice the man or woman. Okay, that's the way to do it. That's the only way I could see you actually doing it on a PAYE scheme, because they deduct it before you see it. All right. If you were self-employed, then you're not going to deduct, unless you're doing a self-assessment, right? You volunteer to pay in tax. You volunteer to assess yourself. You're grassing yourself up, if that's the way of putting it, because you're not really grassing yourself up because you don't owe any tax because, right? And if anyone ever feels bad about like, oh, should I not pay tax? Well, look at Ricky, pricky, bricky, fucking Sunak then, right? Look at him and look what they do and look what his billionaire missus does, and they don't pay any tax. Then let's have a look at it and think about, like, do you feel guilty or not? Okay. All right. Back to it then. Wow, yeah, Barbara. I'll not pull that up for everyone to see, but yeah, I mean, it's a thing. But the thing is, right? If you're going to have to pay, when I paid for my going to the newspaper, right? My local newspaper, I can't remember. I think it might have been the Northumberland Gazette. Actually, it was called, and it was only, I think it was about 80 or 89 pounds, but it wasn't 100. It wasn't even 100 quid. I know that. But other people have paid a lot more. Must just be because they've got much more distribution of the paper. It's a bigger spread of paper, goes to more people, so it's going to cost more. But if you do it, you're only going to pay the one time. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but then once you've done it, and it's expressed, and you've got the copy of the ad and everything that proves that this was expressed a private trust, and you've done it through the Royal Mail, to me, I just think, wow, I mean, that's bulletproof that you've actually created that, and nobody could say you didn't create it. And then there is the property deposited into the actual trust, and that's an expression, a deed of expression that can never be squashed in a court, right? If you ended up in that position. Yeah, it's a shame, but I didn't avoid the question about the OPPT. I said, if it's what you want to do, then do it. But I'm not going to do it because I prefer to do the private ones. That's exactly what I said. I said, I want to do private. I rely on the private. I wouldn't do the OPPT. I got nothing to do with 1776. I wasn't there. I didn't sign anything. I'm not under the Declaration of Independence of America. So what's it got to do with me? Right? That's what I did say. Right? And now I've said it again. All right. No, that's not actually true. Okay, association, it's not legal. It's not legal whatsoever. Under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the inalienable right, and you can only have an inalienable right under the Creator. Okay, not from a government. So you have the inalienable, can't even say it, inalienable right to associate with who you want to associate with. It's an inalienable. It's a big right, okay? So it's not from a government, and the government can only be under the legal, okay? So we are an unincorporated association, which means we are non-governmental, which means we do not have anything to do with acts and statutes. An association, right, is not legal, okay? So you need to do a bit more research. Don't know what that means. Opportunity is a scam. Do you mean that trust? Well, yeah, yeah. All right, I haven't even got any. I'm not going to get time to do. I was going to show you an ID one, and I was also going to show you an AP one and a TR one, and I was also going to show you the lawful notice and demand on how to actually correct the status, how to actually, tell them all on the Certainty Act 1666 that, look, we are alive, we're not dead. But it's getting on now. Okay. Oh, I've already said that one, haven't I? Excuse me. Do you express it 3 times? Oh, right. No, you just got to do it the one time. All you got to do is if you do the Royal Mail expression, then you do the paper expression, right? And you've got the proof. You keep the copy, they send you an email with the copy in. It's expressed. So if you were ever challenged, this is what I'm saying, right? What you want to be doing, once you've put everything that you have, whatever it is, in a private trust, right? Then and it's expressed, and you ever get challenged, the only challenge that I can see on the type of private trust we're doing is, well, you didn't do one. I don't believe you. Well, there it is. It's expressed with these dates, with the Royal Mail, and with this newspaper. How can you lose the fight that way? Okay, so you only have to do it the one time, Paul. That's all you have to do. All right. Okay, so there's someone else. They're doing a public notice for their newspaper. It's only 23 quid. All right. Yeah, I did not just say that there before. It's the redemption manual, supplementary manual for the UCC. It's around £90. Yeah. I mean, it's like I've got them all. That is 100% correct. Okay, what they do is with the debt, maybe I didn't do that a little bit. Say, for instance, you got a bank loan. Just to say it's £50,000. All right, a lot of these bounce back loans are £50,000. These banks have got insurance policies. So when you don't pay, after 2 or 3 months, they're going to cash the insurance policy, and then they're going to get. So first of all, you created the credit, by the way. You've never lent any money at all. You did not get a loan. You created the credit with your sign of nature. You make that sign of nature, and I don't care if it's an electronic one, it still makes it a financial instrument. They sell the financial instrument on the securities exchange. That's how they actually create the money. They give you some of it, and then they keep selling it, right? But then, right, so that's how the banks are making tons of money. That's why they're all like mega wealthy. Then, if you don't pay, what they do after a few months is they close your account, and they put in the insurance policy. They actually get paid by the insurance policy, and then they sell the debt as well. Okay, so I mean, how many times are they making? They're just making ridiculous amounts of money. Yeah, that is true. They have the insurance policy and they sell it. They cash it in, and which is cash it in, and they also write your bad debt off as well. So they write the bad debt off, right? So like they're not going to be paying tax. They get the insurance money because you haven't paid it back of something you didn't even lend. They've sold it on the stock exchange, right, or the securities exchange, the promissory note, the financial instrument, the negotiable instrument that you put your sign of nature on, right? And then they sell your data to a collection agency. What a hell of a scam, and what a brilliant bloody business model. They're making money literally out of thin air. How good is that? I mean, it's insanity. All right. Yeah. So there's two parts of it. There's either the Law of Property Act. All debt, doesn't matter if it's a mortgage, if it's a credit card, if it's like a catalog, really, right, or a bank loan. All debt has a deed. All right, and in the UK anyway. Okay. So, and it comes under the Law of Property Act 1925, two different sections. You've got the section 136 part 1, which is the deed of assignment, okay, or the can't speak tonight, equitable assignment, which is 53 part 1. So they can use one or the other. And on my DSAR, we state both of these. So have you got this one or have you got that one? Tell me which one you have, and then we'll start working from there. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Oh, there's a thing. Okay, so who creates the trust? The trustee or the beneficiary? Neither of them. Okay, and if it's a private, nobody knows who the beneficiary is. Is that correct? Yes. Let's just if in the UK, all right, definitely in the UK, you have the settlor, SETTLOR, settlor. You settle property or res into the trust. Right, in the US, for instance, they won't have a settlor, they'll have a grantor, and they grant property into the trust. Same thing, exactly the same thing. They are the creator. They create the trust. In the triangle, at the top, you have the creator. They actually create the trust, the settlor, right? Because we're in the UK. Down on the other corner, in the triangle, you have the trustee. They can't create it because they're going to get put in charge of some property, and they have to follow the rules that are created, the law that's created by you. Right, the settlor, if it was you. And on the other side is the beneficiary, right? Completely private, so you're never ever going to tell them. So listen, right, you've got Rockefeller, J.D. Rockefeller, who wrote more trusts than anyone else in history, I think. He had hundreds of them. Nobody could find out where his assets went to. Nobody could find out what his true wealth was, his true worth was, because everything was held in a private trust. Okay, so why not copy them? And it was him who said, right, own nothing, control everything. It sounds a lot better than own nothing, eat bugs and be happy, all right, which is schwabby. So let's stick with the once, own nothing, control everything. So what you do is you actually make these trusts. It's the only way that we can protect ourselves. Somebody asked me the other day, well, what happens if they're going to steal everything and roll up with tanks and guns? Well, we're all done for then anyway. If it gets to that stage, then let's die fighting. right? But like, you know, apart from that, it's the only way to protect ourselves is by doing the things like this. This is the lawful way, and that's what we want to do it. We don't want to be legal. We don't want to be unlawful. We want to be lawful. So yeah, that's brilliant. So your set law creates the trust in the triangle. Okay, there you go. Hey, just said that. All right. Yeah, and yeah, the set law or the grantor. Yeah, exactly. And again, perfectly right. So the same thing with JD Rockefeller. Nobody knew who the beneficiaries were, so nobody knew where all that massive wealth was going. That's the idea. Now, right, remember, we're doing the trust and we're going to pass things down, hopefully, if everything goes away, to our children, right? But they're not our children, they're our sons and daughters, by their names. So what happens is we're going to pass down the trust, not the houses. Right, you might have more than one house. You might have a property portfolio. Get it all into private trusts or a private trust. So then your sons and daughters, they don't inherit the property, they inherit the trust, and the property's in trust. Hence, there's no transfers. All right, then there's no tax to be paid. Now, this is the thing. Everyone says, well, what about if I want to sell it? But why do you want to sell it? What you're trying to do is you're actually trying to build wealth for like your great grandchildren. That is what they were doing when they built these castles. And the next thing you know, these people are getting given it, right? These million, 10 million, 100 million, 350 million. The Duke of Marlborough passed on to his single son, as one son, right? Without a penny of inheritance tax being paid because it was in a trust. So you don't want to be taking property in and out of things. You want to build it and pass it on so that your sons and daughters will build it bigger. Pass it on, so then that your great grandchildren will have wealth, and it's all in a trust, and it's all protected. This is what we should be aiming for. So it's the same thing as you planting a tree. We should all be going out planting fruit trees, planting fruit bushes, go around and throw all the seeds everywhere. You know, that's what we've been doing, planting blackberry bushes and stuff everywhere. We're never going to see the benefit of it in this incarnation. All right. No way is the benefits of an apple tree going to be seen for the next few years. But we got to, you know, I want them, like, you know, in 20 years' time for like my sons and daughters eating that fruit. Okay, so this is the way you have to think. That we have to think long term, because that's what they were thinking, and they've put us in this position now because they've got all the wealth because they protected it. Plus, we're held by aliens, but we'll not go into that right now. That's going to start loads of arguments. Oh my God, the Earth's flat. Anyway. All right. Okay. I'm sure that's always getting. Hang on. Let's get back up there. Yeah, man. I tell you, it's like if we want to get, we have to ground, we have to connect. I go barefoot all the time. Go in the garden, walk around barefoot in the grass. Hopefully, not standing on too much dog pee. But yeah, that's it. We've got to keep the vibration high. You know, I'm going to share the information. I'm going to keep going, but it's about keeping the vibration high. That's what we have to do it. All right. So we have to help by keeping our vibration high, then helping other people get their vibration high. Right. We've got to, Bob, look, you know, he goes and he sleeps out in the moors, right? He doesn't go in a tent, just takes a sleeping bag and lies out there like in the moors, you know, brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So we got to connect with nature. That's what we've got to be doing, you know. Mr. Shiny just got there. No problem. How did you find out about the law? Well, you got to study it, haven't you? And like when I first left the Royal Navy in the 80s, 1984, I left, came straight into a miners' strike. So I started studying the law. And that's why I was studying the law of tort. I was doing it at night school. But and I really enjoyed it. You know, I was thinking, wow, this is amazing. So learning. But then, you know, everything gets on top of you, and I moved away to Spain, you know, and that was in the 80s. But and I went back again, you know, in 2000. But you know, and then you study more books, and you study, and then you move in, like, you know, and it's law, not legal. Although I do still study the legal because I want to know what weapons they're using against us. So on the Acts and Statutes, have a look at the lawful notice and demand, because we actually use a lot of Acts and Statutes. Now it states on the lawful notice and demand, we're correcting our status. We're saying we're not a dead entity. And we're telling you about the Acts and Statutes because you are part of their group. So you've actually signed on for this, but we are nothing to do with Acts and Statutes because we're private. We're only telling you because this is yours. So it says that, you know, don't think because we're telling you about an Act and Statute that we be it. It's you. Okay. But yeah, that's how you know, you've got to learn. So the only way that you can learn, and, you know, you learn more by doing it now than you ever learned in school. You know, I spent most of my time either getting belted, because you used to get leather whips and get belted, or getting thrown out, or getting expelled, you know. Yeah. Well, you know, that's exactly what I would be doing as well. It's like getting a letter. It's not a letter, it's a notice. You're going to notice, I, a man, noticing to a man. Okay, because your MD is a man. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it's, you only have to put it in 3 times. 3 times. You only have to put it in the 1 time. Okay. All right. Okay. There. So what I was just saying, order of status there. Creator, obviously that's there. Then man's just underneath. Then society. Then government. Public servants. All right. Slaves. We are not slaves. We are man. We're at the top, just underneath the creator. He created us, so we actually created everything else. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to, all right. This is where I went wrong on my 1099. So I know not everybody knows what a 1099 is, and I know you don't know what a W8BEN. That's what I was using, and it didn't work. Okay, because you need a W7. All right, the W8BEN. I used that one. That's what I thought I had to use, a W8BEN, but it's not. It's a W7. Okay, so just so you know that you're putting that up there. All right. Christopher Hauser, he's in the United States and he's using the W8, right? That's fine. It's fair enough. But we're here. We cannot use it. We have to use the W7. Okay. Which is a very complicated, long-winded way. Now, Christopher Hauser, his channel is fantastic. The information is amazing. But and I have spent thousands working with a guy called Tassidak as well. And I took all his courses. But it was missing. The forms were missing because it's slightly different, right, from the US to the UK. Okay. So just have that in mind when you're doing this, and you've got to do deeper research. You've got to really get underneath the levels and find out what ties the UK to the IRS in the United States. And it is tied. Someone just said it as well up there. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm telling you, you know, so just. Could you say that word again, Peter? What word? The ones I couldn't say. Inalienable. I'm not sure what you mean. Inalienable. There you go. Inalienable. Couldn't get it. Some people say unalienable with a U, not an I. All right, and it was that was somebody made a statement, like one of the governments, and spelt it wrong, and then either is fine. Okay, all right. All right, so cash, you see, Now you can put your bank account in. You can put your bank account expressed into trust. You can put finance into trust. You can put investments into the trust. You can put cryptocurrency into the trust. Talking about cryptocurrency, we're going to do some series. The guy who's been like helping me get mine going. You know, I've got various different wallets and all that. You know, it's not Bitcoin. It's loads of different things that we're doing. And the lad Chris, who I'm going to get on the channel, he has been investigating the background of the technology and what these things are used for as well, what the usability will be. Why would you have it? What will it be working for? What will it be? So how will it be created, and how will it actually create a value in the future? All right. So that's what we're looking at. And you know, he's going to hopefully help come on the channel and give some great info on there. But all that stuff can be put in a trust. You cannot say you're putting cash in, because what is cash? What are you going to say? I've got £1,000 hidden under my bed, right? You can put your bank account in a trust, but remember this: cash is going to disappear. Now, I don't mean, you know, anything weird about, oh, we're going to a cashless society. When they do a bail-in, and they are going to do a bail-in, which will mean they'll close all the banks, and whatever money is in a bank will disappear overnight. Boom, gone. And if you think I'm wrong, think of the Northern Rock bank that was here in the northeast of England. They closed it, right, and everyone lost their money. There was queues, and the police were at the queues to stop, because there was no. They were all trying to get the money out of the bank. Banks do not have money in it, right? They have computer screens, and they did it to Cyprus. They did it to the whole island. So, yeah, you know, and when they do that and they collapse the fiat currency, which we are going to do, even if the good guys win the war, right, we're still going to go digital. And it's so we're going to go one way digital or the other. So we're just going to try and figure a way of getting through this, right? I would be doing a spread of things to try and protect ourselves. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And if someone tells you that they know what's going to happen, then they're mad, madder than I am, right? Or a liar. So get gold, get silver, get crypto, have a little bit of cash in the bank, usable, so you can do things. But I tell you, when it hits there, right, we're going to go back to trading. You got to start really thinking of how to do things. You better have your food supplies, backed up your food supplies, because it's coming sooner than you think, right? So make sure that you've got your you know, and if you can know how to go on foraging or look at foraging courses, go on them. Learn about. I did a walk through the cemetery and through the woods the other day, and I was filming, showing you all the greenery, because they got rid of all the fruit trees, the wild fruit trees, the berry trees, right? But then someone was saying that most of that stuff can be eaten. You just got to know how to do it. And it was like, oh, they had loads of different things. And yeah, but you know, you can use it for soup, and you can use it for like cabbage, and you can use it mugwort as well. Was helping making it into tea. I didn't know what I was filming. To me, it was just loads of trees, loads of bushes. And this guy was telling me everything because he watched the video. So that shows me I know I have to go and do more anyway. Also, you can learn how to do foraging for the sea. And we're right there. You know, we can go swimming in it. All the seaweed, there's a lot of seaweed that you can eat. It's very nutritious, right? I don't know what it tastes like, but, you know, you can make things out of it, you know. So putting cash in, right, you know, but okay. Oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that. Okay, so I've revived the soul, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to lift everyone up and praise everyone, you know, and, you know, like get everybody like lifting up the vibration. That's what we're here for. That's what we all have to do. And we're going to be here for each other, because, you know, at the end of the day, they're trying to kill us left, right, and center. They're poisoning the air, they're poisoning the water, they're poisoning the food. So we've got to try and grow our own food and foraging our own food and learning how to do it, you know. More and more and more. Okay. All right. So can't believe that I've spent the whole time. I've got all, you know, underneath. I'm going to show you it just so I can show you that I'd actually had got this planned, you know, of what I was going to show you. And we've been talking all the time. Yeah, do you know what it is? I tell you what it is. Look at this here, right? The hemp industry. Okay, now I know I've seen right hemp, right, is a fantastic plant, right? I'm not on about smoking and getting high. You can do that. I don't mind doing it, like, but you can make clothes with it. You can make paper with it. You can make plates and like, well, glasses, but it wouldn't be called glass, but like cups and stuff like that. You can make everything with hemp. Now, all of that, and it's all there. It's all like, it's, you know, because all of this, like, what do you call it? Climate change is just a complete and utter scam, complete and utter nonsense. All right. David Bellamy was 100% correct. You know, it's nonsense. It does not exist. The sea levels will always be the same. Nothing's going to change. Heat will go up and down. All right. No one's going to go, like, millions aren't going to die because we had 2 days of warm weather. Right. But hemp is good for the planet, and hemp is actually good for, like, all of this stuff. And they hide it. Right. Anything that's good for you, they hide, and then they try and poison us with pharmaceuticals. There it is. Okay. All right. So, like, through illness, if you're in the benefit system, well, you can still create yourself private and try to start moving into private. Okay. But, you know, it's obviously, like you said it there, you're trapped in it, you know. So look at ways of being able to actually get out of it. But again, think of your vibration as well. Lift up your vibration, because if you're ill health, your vibration and thought, do you know, like, I'm truly believing a lot of grounding for health. So get bare feet and walking on grass and walking on the earth, not concrete, obviously. That's why they're trying to make everything concrete. That's why they've got fake grass. That's why they're getting everyone's drives, right? And front gardens around here, it's all concreted. While they're doing that, oh, it's low maintenance. No, it's not. You're just killing yourself by not connecting to the earth, not grounding. Okay, so get a lot more grounding done. It'll help you connect to source as well, and then hopefully that'll help build up your health, and then you can move away from the benefit system. All right. Yeah. You know, right? So you're thinking about, like you're thinking about years and years and years, and what goes into a trust, you stay in a trust. That's what we're not doing it for us, right? Yeah, obviously it's going to protect little bits for us, but we're like, think like what these, right, wealthy people that passed castles down, right? It didn't start off with a castle. I know they killed more people than we did, right? So that's how they got there. But you can still build up this wealth, okay, and then protect it and pass it on to the generations that pass it on. And if you teach them how to do what they call a family private trust, it stays in the family. It's a reason to stay in the family. Keep minutes of your meetings for a private trust. Then it can get passed down. It's like a history book for the family. And eventually they could end up, you know, being the good guys, right? But in the wealthy side. That's what this is supposed to be doing for us, you know? Yeah, what he's saying, they don't pay UK. Stay away from it. It's a scam. Do not touch it. Do not comment on it. Do not write anything on their posts. Do not follow them. They are collecting data, right? That is a government scam by the Tavistock Institute. They are just collecting and storing your data, and it's going to show them where you are, and they'll know how to come and attack you. All right? So stay away from them, okay? All right. Yeah. See, I mean, that's it. It's just fear. That's all they're going to use. Fear. But that is false evidence appearing real. Fear. False evidence appearing real. Forget it. Get over it. Connect to source. Connect to the Gaia. Be in the moment. Live in the moment. And you won't have fear, you know? Yeah, see? And then your cup is always full. All right? You don't want to be half full. You don't want to be half empty. I'm going to go fill mine up. Throat's getting dry. All right, absolutely brilliant. I love it. Thank you for all that. Okay, where are we? I'm still gonna I'm showing you these things just so that you know. Right. Well, isn't that a thing? How does anyone know that the settlor and the beneficiary are not the same man? If only the beneficiary and the settlor have to have the knowledge, to who it's intended to benefit or protect. Remember, right, when you are the beneficiary, right, you can be the settlor and the beneficiary. There's no problem in that. That's exactly fine and lawful and everything. That's not a problem. Okay. Even at times, right, you can actually be all three. You can also be the trustee. If you're getting ready to pass it on, you can be a temporary trustee, because like you can put appoint and sack trustees. So you could be a temporary trustee. So you could have all three positions, the one entity. All right. But what we want is the legal entity to be the trustee and the living man to be the settlor and the beneficiary. But then you're going to put your children, grandchildren, etc. I'm saying children, but sons and daughters, grandsons and daughters in as beneficiaries or default beneficiaries for when you pass, right? Get rid of your meat suit and go into source. All right. So that's what I'm saying about building the trust go down and doing it for the future, building a future for the future for our sons and daughters, sons and daughters, sons and daughters, sons and daughters. Okay. So it depends on who's doing it. I know people who took 2 to 3 months to actually get one sorted. We can do them if we're going to assist you in doing them. We do it in about like 3 to 4 weeks by the time we've done all the paperwork. You can temporarily have all three. You can temporarily have all three, but yeah, 2 for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. The W8 and the W7 are 2 different forms used for 2 different purposes, but definitely we have to do the W7, which is and we know we're sitting waiting on a check. So, what's that saying there? I've had problems. Oh, the MP. Do you know what? To hell with MPs. Burn them all. I didn't say that. Right. Just like forget trying to like take people like to hold them to account. Like all we need to do is to like go inward, concentrate ourselves, build our own vibrational. Okay. And then we can start creating our own private lives. That's what we need to do. Okay. You're not going to ever close a straw man trust or your set of KV trust or whatever it is that you want to call it. Okay. That's always going to exist. It's not yours anyway. It's owned by the Crown Corporation. So it's not yours, right? Just because he used your name, you don't own that. In fact, don't own anything. So, don't worry about that. All you got to think about is that you can use your 1099A to access some of the funds, then get on with it. All right. So exactly there, he who creates controls. They don't control, they own. He who creates owns. So the Crown Corporation created your trust. They also created your legal fiction name. It's not yours. Your capitalized name is not you, and it's not yours. It's your person, right? They own it because they created it. It's Crown copyright property. Okay, so you can't like access your trust or any of that nonsense. But you can't use like certain ways of getting the money, like a 1099, for instance. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to shoot off soon, peoples. Okay. Good. Oh. Ooh. That's good to know. You see that there? This is what they'll never tell us. Like one acre of hemp will give the same paper as 4 acres of trees. You see? And you can eat it. Oh, I've never had it, but I bet you can, yeah. Okay, good. I'm just going to show that because I'm going to show off. Okay, yeah, been listening for a while. I'm glad you. Well, I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to make people happy. Just trying to like build up the vibration as well as give good information. Okay, so synthetics. I love that. Oh, look at that one. Synthetics. It is a sin. Well, get to nature. Get to real. Okay. Oh, there's a good one. All right. So, like, if you place property into a trust, Does it change how the property pays you if you're renting it out? Well, look, see, this is the whole thing. This is a private trust, okay, which you can also do a PMA if you wanted to actually create a PMA, put your property as part of the PMA, and the document on a PMA is an asset, not the actual PMA, but the document. So you have the documents, you have your your articles of association, your founding document, and your member-to-member contract, or PMA to member contract. So then three documents are assets, and you put those assets into the trust, right? So your assets are going into the trust, which means in reality the PMA is going into a private trust. All right. You can also deposit the property into the trust as well, but the actual financial side, if you want to call it that, the circle of the trade, whoever is renting the property now is a member of your PMA. They are a member, private member of your private members association. The benefits of being a private member of the private members association is that they are allowed to have the property. All right. And then they will pay you compensation, right, for your sweat equity of allowing them to be in the property. But it's private because it's a private members association, right? So there's no government involvement. So there is no taxation to look at because it's all private. Okay. Now you can call it non-profit if what you will, however you're going to do it, but that's the way you have to look at it. So yeah, definitely. That's good. I like that one. Yeah. Oh, look at this. We hate this, like the weed killer and everything like that. You know, the glyphosate. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And what do you call it? Dandelions and nettles are brilliant. You know, you can. I remember even when I was a kid back in the 70s, there's women collecting nettles. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, we'll make cabbage out of it. They make tea out of it. They make beer and they make wine. Right, and that was all out of nettles. They were collecting all the nettles all up and down the street. They were eating and drinking for pennies. Yeah, and that was, you know, and people have lost everything. They've lost all this fantastic knowledge, and other people call them witches now. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, what's this about? Just got here. It's about corn pop. It's about everything you can imagine. It's all got to do with positivity. It's what it's about, being positive and living a great life. Okay? All right. So then, I'm going to have to go soon. My voice is really giving. Ooh, another brilliant one. Look at that. A PMA is a plumber. Of course, you see. Well, you can be a plumber, an electrician, a glazier, fixing windows. You can do anything you actually want as a PMA. Okay? It's a private members association. So when somebody comes along and wants your service, you join them to your PMA. It's a member-to-member contract. They can join, cost them £1 for a year, right? But then they are a member and it's a private contract. So whatever deeds that you're going to do for them, your sweat equity, the actual exchange that they'll do a donation for your sweat equity, okay, you will get recompense or compensation in the PMA, right, for your sweat equity from your member. The benefit that they have of being the member, right, is by having the service. You see, that's how it works. All right, so it can be a plumber, an electrician, a joiner. It can be anything, and you will have, like, if you want to buy land and grow food and then sell the food, but you're not selling it, you're actually getting the members to join, and part of the benefits of the membership is having access to the food in an exchange of sweat equity. Now, if they did get rid of, like, say, the fiat currency as we know it, you could be doing anything. You could be doing it with, like, you know, swapping food for food, or even have them working for food, or silver, anything like that, or even cryptocurrency. Which, honestly, there's so many possibilities, right? What will happen will happen. They will never beat us because nature, the creator, will always provide. And that is a fact. Connect with nature, connect with the creator, connect with Gaia, and they will always provide, and there will always be a way. All you've got to do is stay away from the legal society as much as possible. Look inside, be inside, all right? Get your spirituality up and always connect with Gaia and connect with Source, and we will win. We will win. End of. Okay. All right. Definitely gonna have to shoot off. My throat's killing me now. The did Henry Ford really make a car out of hemp? Did he? I don't know. That would be brilliant to find out. Tell me how you know that. That would be excellent. Okay. Right. I'm going to have to shoot, peeps. I'm going to have to shoot. Look, but I'm going to quickly show you this because you're not going to believe that I actually had this already to show you. I haven't shown anyone. So what do we do? Right. Let's have the slides. How do I do it? Look, I was going to show you this. This is power of attorney. All right, I don't know how to do it. So share screen. No, that's not wrong. That's not right. How did you do it? I just did it. I did it. I was practicing before. Slide 1. How do you do it then? I did it before. Add to stream. Well, how can you all see this? I can't see anything. It's not working. How do you do that? Add that to stream. There. Look, this is the lawful notice and demand. So I was going to show you that. Look, see, but you can't really see because it's not very big, is it? So you can go through all the different pages. This is the lawful notice and you see all the red bits. That's where you would be altering or editing and putting your details in. Okay, so let's remove that. So just so you know. So then there's the TR1. I was going to show you how to actually complete the TR1. Okay. And there's the AP one. I was going to show you how to complete the AP one because this is what you have to do at the land registry when you have put your property into trust. I was going to show you how to do the ID one as well because on the ID one, that's just to prove who you are, obviously, because of that, you know, if you didn't prove who you are, that means anybody could go and change, you know, the land registry. So I'll just show you that, just so you know. That's the power of attorney as well. I've got the power of attorney, okay, and the security agreement. All right. So just so you know, I did actually have all that ready, and I was going to do that. So you know, I'm not telling fibberoonies, okay. All right, but I have to go right down that one. So I don't know if you could actually see it. You can download all of those forms, by the way. Someone's asking about download. Go on, if you want the lawful notice and demand, the power of attorney, in fact, and the security agreement, go to the website, claimyourstrawman.com. If you haven't already joined it, all you got to do is put your name and email in, and then you can you'll go on the mailing list, and then you can get access and download all of the forms to put yourself in a private, plus tons of more information on there. Okay, and it's all for free, by the way, right? So you can do all that. But if the other forms, the TR1, the AP1, and the ID1, don't ever do an ID3. Always do an ID1. Okay. Now you can actually get them from the land registry. You just go on, download it, and you can alter it. I'll show you. I will show you how to do them. Not tonight, obviously, because it's too late now. Okay. But once you've done it, put it in a private trust, then you change the land registry. And you can still do it if you've got a mortgage, because they're always going to be there first in time, first in line, first in time. The charge will stay on the land registry. Okay. So you're not going to get rid of your mortgage that way. And you still have to pay it as well, by the way. Right. I'm not saying don't pay it. All right. Okay. All right, then. So that's going to be me. So, my God, it's 10:15. And I didn't get to show you any of the forms that I wanted to show, but I've really enjoyed chatting with everyone. I've loved the questions. I've loved the comments. It's been good. And I think we've got a lot of information out there. So, look, keep up the vibration. Get out tomorrow. Get your shoes and socks off and get bare feet on the grass. Get bare feet on the sand. Go out into nature and grab a hold of a tree. Ask permission before you grab a hold of a tree. Right, you try and actually meditate and connect to the plants. The trees all connect and talk to each other, by the way. All right, they're all connected underneath, and they know everything that's going on. There's trees that we've been out there looking at have been 6, 7, 8, 900 years old. They've seen so much. Right, connect with them, connect with nature. Get ready and connect with source. Right, we are man, we are woman. we will win. We are winning, right? The only way, it doesn't matter what can they do. Get rid of your meat suit, because your actual soul and your energy is going to move on to the next dimension anyway. All you're ever going to do is walk through another door into the next room. That's all you're ever going to do. They cannot kill you. They can get rid of the meat suit, but the soul is indestructible, as we are indestructible. All right? Good. Okay, so my throat's killing. I will show you them forms later, but I've really enjoyed tonight, by the way. I hope you have as well. So bless. Okay. Keep it going. All right. And get yourself out and get grounded. Okay. See you later. Have a good. We've had our 5 strong days. So now we're going into a strong end. There's nothing weak about us. We don't need a weekend or weakened, because we are strong and we remain strong. All right. Talk to you all soon. Take care.